Drills Talk, episode 144. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 actions to take in financial disaster. This is based on a blog I wrote in the past entitled Extreme Measures. Hopefully, you won't get here, but for those who are here or those who've been here, you'll definitely find this video to be helpful to yourself if you were to have had it then, or helpful to yourself now while you're in this storm. Extreme measures are necessary. You are going to have to do some things that are a little difficult. You are going to have to make some choices that you're going to have to pay for years to come, but it's what you will need to do in order to get out of this funk. Let's discuss.
Yo, Drills.
Created by the great wizard of the new world.
Drills Talk, episode 144. In this episode, we're going to discuss the top 4 actions to take in financial disaster. But before we get started, please like, subscribe, show your love however you would like to show your love. Here we're an entrepreneurship/mindset motivation channel. Every Monday we have a new blog. Every Wednesday there's a new Drills Talk. There's plenty of content on here to help you out with whatever you may be going through in regards to life or entrepreneurship. So be sure to check out the old videos too. Let's get started. Number one is extreme measures will be required. You're not going to get out of this by doing what you've done before. You're not going to get out of this with a loan from a friend or a family member. This is going to take a lot of steps. It's going to take a lot more time than you want it to, because you're going to have to dig out of something that you may or may not have put yourself in. Now, the people who have put themselves in this hole, you have to understand that, was it worth it? You have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Not understand, but it may have been. If you were attempting to go out on your own and maybe you quit your job a little too early and you wanted to start your own business and came up short this go around, and because of that, you're in financial strife, it might be worth it. If you are in this hole because you've made repeated financial decisions that were questionable, and maybe you gambled it away, or maybe you blew it on stuff, frivolous things, then, okay, well, that was not worth it. But either way, both parties are still in this situation and looking for how we're going to get out of it, right? So number one to understand is that extreme measures will be necessary. What are extreme measures? Extreme measures means that you are going to have to pretty much get rid of some stuff that you didn't want to get rid of. You are going to have to make some adjustments that you didn't want to make. You are going to have to cease going out and having much of a social life for a while until you get your money right, which is more important. We're all adults here. Having your finances right is more important than going and showing your face or smiling and, hee-heeing and spending more money. That's just prioritization wise. That doesn't make any sense, right? So what we're trying to do is understand that we have to make extreme measures. Understand that we're not going to be comfortable with every choice that we make, because it's a little different. It's not, oh, well, let's just do this, or let's just grab a loan from mom or dad, or let's just grab a loan from big brother, or let's just grab a loan from uncle or grandpa or grandma. That we've probably priced ourselves out of that. This is financial stress. This is a enormous amount of stress on us, an enormous amount of uncomfort, because we've never been in this before. So what are we going to do about this? We're going to understand that whatever we're going to do, our next steps are going to be extreme, and they're not going to be quick fixes. Number two is you must keep your dwelling, your home, your house, your mortgage, your rent. That's number one on the list right now. Nothing else. Nothing else is more important than having a place to lay your head, having a place to think about and plan how you're going to get out of this hole. It may be the largest bill you have, which is the case for most of us, but it is what needs to stay. Number two is your car. Now, if you have an expensive car payment, then number two has to go too. And luckily, in the time we're in, as long as we have our home, and when I say home means, you still have your gas, your electric, your internet connection, because nowadays our internet connection can replace our car. We don't have to necessarily, based on our employer, drive to work. So us losing that, $300, $400, $500 payment for our car can be a doable cut, because we have internet at home, which can be, $50 to $100, and allow you to work from home. So number one, important thing, the most important thing is to keep your dwelling. Whatever your rent is, if that has to go and you have somewhere to stay, if you have a person that you can stay with, then even the rent can go. But if you have a mortgage, under no circumstances do you want to let that mortgage go. You cannot afford to do that, and I'll get to why later on, but I'll touch on it, quickly. Your credit's going to be shot when you let go of some of these things that you're no longer going to pay. And you're not going to qualify for another home for years. So keeping your dwelling, keeping your home will be of the utmost importance. So keep that in mind. Yes, I'm going through a lot of financial issues right now, but I must keep my home. Keeping my home is number one. It is my largest asset. It's also my largest bill, but it's most important that I keep it. Number three. Number three is you must make some hard cuts. Now let's get into those cuts. I touched on the social aspect. You're not going to be going out, right? That's out of there. You may lose your car. You may have to cut that payment completely down 100%, right? So that means you no longer have that vehicle. So that'll help you with not going to most social events, right? But the fact that you are not paying on that vehicle, even if you give it back and you understand that, hey, I gave the car back, blah, blah, blah. No, that's still going to be a negative hit on your credit. All right. Now you can attempt to sell it and sell it for a little more than you owe and have that be a plus and look like you paid it off on your credit. By all means, if you have the ability to do that, you have the time to do that, then great. The other hard cuts can be something. If you have kids, their extracurricular activities may have to go, and that's going to be unfortunate. If they're in dance school or they're in karate or they on the soccer team or whatever it is, that's going to have to go. The other hard cuts would be credit debt. Now, your credit debt being cut is something that you have to understand that that's going to be something you pay for quite a long time, right? Negative and derogatory statements on your credit can be removed. And I know you see that all over the place and credit repair and credit removal and all this other stuff. But just keep in mind that normally things stay on your credit report like late payments for about 7 years, delinquencies, charge-offs, all that negative stuff that's going to happen because you're not going to have the funds to pay that. And nor should you pay that when you're in financial stress. You should focus on keeping your home. That is number one. Keep the lights on, keep the gas on, make sure you have enough to put food in your mouth and whoever else is in your dwelling, and keep that internet to allow you to get a job online. But the other hard cuts, so we're no longer going out, so our social is hit. Our kids are affected if we have them because their social and extracurricular activities are over. We're no longer paying our credit cards, which means that if we don't have it in cash, we're not getting it because our credit cards, the limits for the ones we do keep or the ones that we say, oh, well, it's zero balance and they shouldn't do anything, those are going to be gone too. Just understand that. You're not going to have any credit. So you're going to be living on a cash system until you get credit worthy again. So the hard cuts are coming and they're extremely important for you to do and embrace because those hard cuts allow you to keep your home, which is the important part of going through and adjusting and getting through this financial issue that you have right now. Number four. Number four is to understand the repercussions. So I touched on some of the repercussions already. Your credit's shot. Your friends don't think you love them anymore. Your kids may be mad at you. You're going to have, years before you are qualified to move around credit wise, right? So repercussions, if you're a business person, hopefully your business credit is good. But if your business credit is shot, your personal credit is shot, you're going to have to start from the bottom. You're going to have to do things that you can do with $0. You're going to have to, if you're in real estate, you're going to have to play the middleman. You're going to have to go into wholesaling where you can do with $0. You can't go and fix and flip. You don't have the credit to get, the money to fix and flip a property. You cannot build a home from scratch on land because you don't have the credit to qualify for someone or a bank to give you the money to purchase the land and build the home. So you're going to have to go right back to the bottom. If you are in entertainment, right back to the bottom. You may have to do some free shows until someone is willing to pay you because you don't have the money to promote yourself and sell out, a small spot like you may have been able to do prior to your financial stress. So repercussions are coming. And based on what we said in the beginning, we probably deserve them, right? It's something we probably earned. So understand it's tough. And believe me, I know I've been through it. Financial issues are not something anybody wants to go through. It is not fun, but you have to get in the mindset of surviving this storm and getting through it. And having things being taken away from you is not fun, but understand what you need to hold on to. And the other things that you may love, your car, your extracurricular activities, your pricey clothing, your stylish way of wearing accessories and those funds, you're not going to be spending that for a long time. We're not spending money on glasses. We're not spending money on purses, going in on shoes. We're going to wear what we have. We're going to eat what's purchased from the supermarket. That's our lifestyle now, and that's going to help us survive this and hopefully never get back there, because we'll know the value of a dollar a lot more than we ever have prior. I hope the best for whoever's going through it right now. You will get through it. Make sure you keep in mind to keep your home. If you are renting and you have nowhere else to go, keep your spot. You can do it. Many of us have been through it. I'm with you. I'm cheering for you. Drills Talk, episode 144. These are the top 4 actions to take in financial disaster. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. It's drills.com. Check this shit out. It's Drill.